Okay, so it is Juneteenth, Freedom Day, and as I'm recording this video, and it was not my intention to say I'm gonna wait until Juneteenth to put this video out. It kind of happened on its own, and I thought to myself, perhaps it's the best time to get this video out and just talk about Black Lives Matter, All Lives Matter, and every recent unfortunate racist event that has happened. And I'm going to start off by saying that for those of you who find the words Black Lives Matter so offensive, it does not mean that Black lives only matter. It does not mean that if you're Black, your life matters, and if you're not, then your life does not matter. Period. Like, forget you. If you're not Black, then you're nothing. That is not what Black Lives Matter means. It means that Black lives also matter. You know, like, all lives matter. I mean, like, we already know that, but also Black lives matter. And and when you tell a Black person that all lives matter, it's like a spit in the face. It's like almost as bad. It's as bad as calling them a certain N-word. You know, like that you have labeled, like that your people have labeled our people. You know what I'm saying? And but it's just I mean, like I have to say that I have stood by All Lives Matter like years back. I've said it one time, and or when Black Lives Matter like became, you know, like a saying, and I wasn't standing against it for the sake of saying that they don't matter. I was just saying that not everybody outside of our race hates us. I was speaking on their behalf. Like, there are people out there who also believe that, and I was being naive, and that's not something I'm proud of. And I'm sorry I want to apologize to my brothers and sisters. I am sorry for ever saying those words, let alone standing by those words. And the thought that I ever did that makes me want to pour a liter of acid down my throat. I mean, it's just disgusting. And maybe perhaps that I've had very little experience with racism, like with white people. I mean, I've learned hatred and humiliation and all of the above from my own people, like from other Black kids growing up. I mean, that's the kind of life I had to, you know, like live, you know, like around other Black kids, like where they resented me for not talking like them, for dressing different than them, and for not sagging my pants, for not saying the N-word, and for having a different lifestyle than them, and just basically, you know, I was not raised to be anything like that. And I guess for those reasons alone, they resented me for it and tried to revoke me from being Black. And there was even a time where I was a senior in high school and 9/11 happened, and the teacher was not in the classroom yet, and the Black kid, you know, sitting behind me yelled out that my people destroyed the towers, that I'm a terrorist, like it was my race that destroyed it. I mean, he probably said that because he didn't see a Black, like another Black person. When he saw me, he saw something else, which is I'm also Filipino, and that's what he saw. He didn't see someone who was Black. He just saw the Filipino side, assuming that I was from Afghanistan and such and whatever. And that kind of humiliation I would not wish on anybody. And that could have been the final nail in the coffin for me, where I could have just said, you know what, no one's going to accept me in the community, so fuck all of it. I mean, like, I could have simply have done, you know, said that, but if it wasn't for my parents and my friends and people I care about who are within the Black community, like if it wasn't for all of them, then that's probably the route I would have chosen for myself. But, you know, because I've had those beautiful blessings, you know, like they saved me from going in that direction. And I have to say, like, as far as the looting goes, like in the riots within the protests that have been happening lately, I mean, I don't condone them. I mean, it's disappointing to watch, and but I dare say that seeing that happen, like seeing businesses being hurt, it's nothing. It's nothing compared to the devastation of, let's say, a school full of children being shot up, or a church filled with families going to, like basically to embrace their beliefs, like them, like being slaughtered while they're doing that. I mean, those levels of devastation are nothing compared to businesses being hurt, like windows being broken, and then stuff that they work hard to make and stuff being stolen. I mean, that can all easily be replaced. I mean, like the black lives who have been lost from racist white cops, they can't get their lives back. They're not replaceable. I mean, like, come on. I mean, it's not rocket science. And also I have to say that I know a lot of people within our community, like my brothers and sisters, like you get devastated when white people or people outside of our race bring up black on black crimes. I get it. I totally get it. But at some point we have to look at that problem for ourselves if we're going to move forward with the fact that black lives matter. Because if we just ignore that, then, I mean, like, how are we saying that they matter? Like, if we're ignoring the fact that, like, some of us are killing each other over dumb reasons. I mean, like, that should be an eye-opener for us as well. I mean, I'm not saying that, you should just stand there and be a good little boy, be good little girls, be good little boys and girls, and just take it from, like the white master, like when they throw those black on black crimes, like facts at us. I mean, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying that we have to look at the problem, like for ourselves at some point, and there are even cops that are out there who are, who are standing by us and standing against the, like the corrupt, like cops that are within, like who are out there on the streets with them that are making them look bad, and seeing photos and videos where you see that they're nothing like the cops that the spotlight is shed, like that the spotlight is placed on. Like these particular cops, I mean, that's something that you have to keep in mind, like when you decide that police stations should be burned down and such and such. And also, like with burning American flags, I mean, like that's another thing like that I don't condone, but I get it. People, like some people within our community are very upset, like that flag does not pertain to us and such, and that's the best way that they, that they can think of, that they feel it's best to express their disgust and their anger. And like I said about businesses, I mean, another flag can be easily put up there. I mean, it's not the same as, like an innocent life being lost, like where where they can't breathe, or they're jogging, or they're killed in their sleep in their own home, and even like going way back to where white supremacists wearing the white hoods and stuff, and they just torch black families' homes. I mean, like all of that. I mean, like that's nothing compared to burning like American flag to me. I mean, like, and also like speaking of flags, like having a particular racist flag no longer being acceptable. I mean, that devastates you more than, like, than basically the, pardon my French, but the shitstorm that my brothers and sisters have to endure, which is racism. And that we have to be reminded that it's alive by seeing that a white cop, like killed another innocent unarmed black civilian. And you find, like these other things more problematic. I mean, you are very much a part of the problem as these racist, like dickholes are. Period. And yeah, I mean, like if you're not willing to be a part of the change and you're against it, like a change to happen, then you need to stay out of the way. Don't let your voices be heard. I mean, like just stay out of the way. I dare say that this world is better off without people like you. It is plain and simple. I mean, and also like like for people who are outside of our race and they're going out of their way where they don't even have to say that Black Lives Matter, but they're letting their voices be heard, and children are being part of the protests, and it's a beautiful way to teach them how to love, as opposed to saying like, yes, this hate is real and it is wrong, as opposed to teaching them that this hate is real and you're obligated to carry on that, to carry that hatred on within your heart. Just let it, let these, people, let these dorkies, be reminded that this world doesn't belong to them and such and such and such. I mean, you don't teach, kids that. You just don't teach them that. I mean, you gotta teach them how to love. And it's just, it's sad, that most likely some of you are probably gonna teach kids that, and we have to, make this change expand as much as we can. I mean, I have to say that I have people who are outside of my race that I'm proud to call my friends, who are stepping forward, letting their voices be heard, and celebrities that I've looked up to for many years, and I just thought I couldn't possibly love them any more than I do now, and they proved me wrong by letting their voices be heard. I mean, that it's just awesome. And all of you, for those of you who I don't know and you're outside of my race and you're letting your voice be heard, I mean, I thank you for being a part of that change. And for those who I have considered my friends, who I'm no longer friends with, where I'm glad I'm no longer friends with these people, and celebrities that I have looked up to, and they're very active on their social media accounts, and they're not mentioning these problems at all. It just makes it depresses me. It really depresses me. Like, wow. And for those celebrities and people that I have considered my friends included, and even those who I don't know, I mean, what is wrong with you? How do you sleep at night? And I have to say that for those who are within my community, I mean, don't talk down to others with other black men and women, boys and girls, for being different than you, whether if they're dressed differently than you, they like something that you hate, or they're gay or whatever, or even if they're a police officer. I mean, their lives should not matter any less because they're different than you or you don't agree with their lifestyle. I mean, Black Lives Matter. I mean, you're defeating the purpose of being a part of that movement, and if you're gonna go and do shit like that, that's all I'm saying. You gotta, break free from those habits. That's all I'm saying. If those are your habits, you need to break free from them. What this day represents. It's not rocket science, like I said. But, I mean, overall, I just wanted to say, for those of you who are part of the movement, thank you very much for letting your voices be heard when you didn't even have to stand with us, and you are anyway. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate my my girlfriend, and my white girlfriend. We have a biracial daughter. She used her voice. Her voice was loud and clear. And for those of you who still believe that all lives matter and blue lives matter, and you have friends who are black or whatever, don't wait for something bad to happen to them. Don't wait for them to be victims of racism. I mean, if you care about them, then be a part of the movement. Just let your voices be heard that Black Lives Matter. Don't wait for something bad to happen to them and just be like, oh yeah, Black Lives Matter. I mean, just let your voices be heard now. And I also want to say that some things that have been happening in the wake of George Floyd's death, among many other deaths, having all these cop shows being axed, and having Elmer Fudd being disarmed, not having the rifle anymore, and people saying, yeah, Paw Patrol should be also taken off the air, or at least the police dog should not be on the show anymore. That doesn't, I don't think that helps Black Lives Matter. That doesn't help us. I mean, that's just silly. I mean, I just don't think any of that helps us at all. Neither does painting your skin the same color as mine. Neither does shaving your head. I mean, none of that helps. Just let your voices be heard, support black businesses, you know, like do stuff like that. But still, I want to thank you all for being part of the movement. If you don't want to be a part of the movement, stay out of the way. That's simple. Just keep your mouth shut, take a seat, and that is it. So, everyone else, take care, love each other, kill the hate, let's love, let's spread the love, and just let this change. Don't let this change, you know, like, don't let that boat sink. Don't let that, you know, don't let that flare go out too quickly. Well, let's carry it on for future generations. So, take care.